Hey everybody, welcome back to To Chaleigh TV. I'm Chaleigh, just in case you don't know. We're going to be deep diving into the absurd, wild, and hilarious world of two couch potato Gen Xers that defined 90s youth culture satire. I give you Beavis and Butthead. Don't miss my mini interview. Hey everybody, tonight I want to welcome you to the show.
Hey baby.
So I wanted to ask you guys what you think about being stars now.
Maybe we should go buy something.
Yeah. Like what?
Fantastic. What do you think about work and customers?
Yeah. Customers suck.
Yeah, I think that about sums it up. What do you think about average people today?
I think you suck.
And that's been my mini interview with Beavis and Butthead. I want to thank you both for being here.
Hotline. Hey Butthead, let's call and say we know those guys.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be dead-ass honest with you. I actually had a very hard time watching this show when it was popular because their voices drove me insane. And everybody seemed to be imitating them. It was just insanity. You just heard badly done expressions from the show, and it was just a lot for me to handle at that time. And not knowing anything about this show, I didn't appreciate it at all at the time. I just thought they were just these stupid characters that they were doing, that made fart jokes. That's what I thought it was. But looking back on it and looking at it more closely and actually getting context is important in comedy. From the humor and what it was doing, now it's kind of like South Park, Now, this show was actually developed from the creative and very comical mind of Mike Judge. He's the creator of all kinds of great work, like he created Office Space. And for fans of King of the Hill, that's where Hank Hill actually got his start. He was on The Short for Beavis and Butthead. This show was actually a cornerstone for everything else that he created and all the characters that he created. The show was based on a short, and it actually got a hell of a time trying to be actually put on in front of an audience. It's not like today where you can just post stuff. Like, he had to go through like public access television and all this stuff, and back in the early conception days of Comedy Channel, before it was Comedy Central. That's how far back we're going. That's where it had its humble beginnings.
How did you guys wind up with Beavis and Butthead there?
So I was making these animated shorts in my house and just mailing out VHS tapes of them. And there was a show called Liquid Television. Well, I made 3 shorts before. Beavis and Butthead was the 4th one I'd made, and the first 3 had gotten, like the first one I made was on a show on comedies. It was called the Comedy Channel. Night After Night with Alan Havey.
I remember Alan Havey.
Yeah, and then I'd gotten in some animation festivals, and so people were starting. There was a show called Liquid Television on MTV that was on Sunday nights, and they would license animated shorts. So I got like 3 or 4 of mine on there. It all happened very quickly. Like they asked me to send my first 3, and I said I have a new one, and it was Beavis and Butthead, and then it got on that show. And then there was a long, weird, cryptic negotiation where they said they want to buy it, and I said, what for? And and then I negotiated. It was Colossal Pictures did Liquid Television, and then finally they said it's over. Oh, it was a long, ugly thing, and then finally MTV came to me directly. I still didn't know what they were going to do with it. I thought those little station IDs or something, and I was elated. I was like, this is amazing. I'm just making these things in my house outside of Dallas, and it's going to be on MTV. That's amazing. And then I sold it. I sold the whole thing to him for something like $18,000.
Really? The whole property, everything?
Yeah, I mean, I retained something that you'd never see any money from, but I was able to get it back later, years later. But
How'd you do that?
Just because they needed me to do it, and I just, but it was, I sold it. But this was after months of negotiating, and I'm like, well, I was animating everything by myself. It would take me like 6 to 8 weeks to make 2 minutes. And after 2 Beavis and Butthead shorts, I was kind of out of ideas anyways. I thought like, okay, this will be my, admission fee to show business. I'll just sell this off just to meet people and have them know about me. And
so even though the show, the characters are crass and crude, and this show is dripping in satire of youth culture, media, authority figures, suburbia, and last but certainly not least, consumerism. The satire of American culture in the show still holds true today, and these cult classic characters are now legends. I want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe for more cult classic characters and indie gems.